Welcome. So today, we are going to explore a really radical new way to think about your energy. We're moving way beyond just simple fixes, and we're diving into what the source material here calls cellular stewardship. It's really a path to cultivating your own biological power right from the inside out. Okay, let's just pause on this for a second, because this idea is the foundation for absolutely everything that follows. I mean, think about it. It frames our mitochondria not just as these boring little power plants, but as this almost magical place where the physical world, the food we eat, is transformed into the non-physical, our awareness, our thoughts, our very consciousness. So this brings us to a huge, crucial paradigm shift. You see, the old model looked at the body like a machine. It breaks down, you take it to the mechanic, you get it fixed. But the new model, this cellular stewardship, sees the body as a garden. You don't force a garden to grow, right? You create the right conditions, the right light, soil, water, and you cultivate a relationship with it. We're moving from a mindset of control to one of actual dialogue with our own biology. So why is this shift so important? Well, because when we treat our bodies like machines, our cellular engines can get, for lack of a better word, carbonized. This happens when things like environmental toxins, think glyphosate, disrupt key pathways like the shikimate pathway in our gut. This totally messes with the gut mitochondrial axis and leads to that systemic fatigue and decline so many of us feel. And this slide just brilliantly illustrates the three main ways our energy systems start to break down. First, you've got electron leakage. Just think of it like biological smoke coming from your engine that slowly damages the machinery. Second, mitochondria failure. This is basically when your cellular cleanup crew goes on strike and these zombie mitochondria just pile up, draining your resources. And third, you've got EMF interference. This is like constant cellular noise from our environment that messes with the delicate electrical process of making energy. So all of this damage, all this noise, it can push our cells into something called the cell danger response, or CDR. This is a really ancient defense mode. When your mitochondria feel like they're under constant threat, they literally shift gears from high voltage energy production to a low power defensive state. It's like they're hunkering down in a bunker, just waiting for the danger to pass. Okay, so if our cells are stuck down in this defensive bunker, how in the world do we signal to them that the coast is clear? How do we convince them to come out, clean up the mess, and get back to producing the kind of high-voltage energy we really need to thrive? Well, it really comes down to pulling two fundamental levers for our cellular health. The first one is biogenesis. This is all about building brand new, high-efficiency mitochondria. It's like planting new seeds in our cellular garden. The second one is mitophagy, and that's the cleanup process. That's weeding the garden to get rid of those old, broken zombie mitochondria. The key is you absolutely need both to truly flourish. So how do we pull these levers in the real world? How do we actually do this? The sources lay out a protocol that's based on 4 key pillars. And these aren't just, lifestyle tips. They are powerful environmental signals that speak directly to our cells in a language they actually understand. First up, light. This is maybe the most direct and powerful signal of them all. Our mitochondria are photoreceptive, which means they respond directly to specific wavelengths of light. You can literally think of light as a remote control for ramping your cellular energy production up or down. Practically speaking, this means 3 things. 1, get unfiltered morning sunlight on your skin and in your eyes. Those red and near-infrared wavelengths are crucial for priming mitochondrial melatonin, which is basically the master antioxidant that cleans the engine. 2, you can use targeted red and near-infrared light to directly stimulate an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase, which just speeds up ATP production. And 3, and this one is so important, avoid artificial blue light after sunset. It kills the nightly repair cycle and stops the cleanup crew from doing its job. This is also why getting enough sun is so critical for making vitamin D, which works hand in hand with vitamins K2, C, and zinc to support this whole process. The second pillar is temperature. And this is where we use something called hormesis. It's basically the idea of using a brief, beneficial stress to force your body to build stronger, more resilient hardware. You're basically giving your operating system a thermal upgrade. So, for example, just a few minutes in a cold shower, that's an incredibly powerful signal for biogenesis. It's telling your body to build more energy factories. It also activates brown adipose tissue, which is just packed with mitochondria. And on the flip side, heat from a sauna activates these heat shock proteins, which are like a tiny team of cellular mechanics that go in and repair damaged parts in your existing engines. Now, this next pillar might surprise you, but first, just to look at this number on the slide, 15 to 20 times. What on earth could that possibly represent in the context of our own biology? Believe it or not, that number represents the incredible boost in nitric oxide you get from the simple act of humming. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator. That means it opens up your blood vessels to improve oxygen delivery. And that brings us to our third pillar, sound. It turns out our mitochondria are also acoustic receptors. How cool is that? Humming boosts that crucial oxygen delivery. But get this, even the melodic tone of your voice, what's called prosodic speech, stimulates your vagus nerve. And this sends a powerful safety signal throughout your entire body, telling your mitochondria, hey, it's safe to come out of that cell danger response and switch from defense back to growth and repair mode. And finally, of course, the fourth pillar is nutrition. Now, this isn't just about calories. It's about providing the precise molecular master keys and the raw materials that you need to run this entire high-performance system. What's really interesting here is how specific these nutrients are. You've got CoQ10 found in things like organ meats, acting as the literal spark plug for energy production. You've got sulfur-rich foods like broccoli and garlic, which you need to build glutathione. And we have to add glycine to this list. Supplementing with glycine is absolutely critical if you've been exposed to glyphosate, because it helps bypass the damage to that shikimate pathway, supporting both glutathione and ATP. And by the way, for anyone with an MTHFR gene variation, getting folinic acid instead of folic acid is also vital for proper cellular energy. Okay, so that was a lot. What does this actually look like in practice? I mean, how do we integrate these four pillars into a daily routine that we can actually stick to? Well, the sources synthesize all this into a clear, actionable stewardship protocol. And this table just lays it out beautifully. It starts with light every single morning. It integrates a few minutes of humming or rhythmic breathing. It schedules in those beneficial temperature stresses a few times a week. And it frames the whole thing within a daily diet that's focused on that cleanup process and getting those key nutrients. You see, this isn't about dependency. This is the path to achieving true biological autonomy. And how will you know it's working? Well, you don't need some fancy lab. The biofeedback is crystal clear. It's waking up feeling alert without needing a stimulant. It's having stable energy all day long with no more of that 3 p.m. slump. It's recovering faster from exercise, and it's noticing that you're just more resilient to the cold. These are the clear signs that your cellular energy grade is getting a serious upgrade. Ultimately, what we've explored today is about so much more than just boosting energy. It's about taking this sovereign path. It's about becoming the steward of your own biology. You've just been given the keys to the engine room. So the final question is, how will you choose to perfect your own inner fire?